Hi there, we're Matt and Stacy. We recently bought an off-grid property in beautiful West Virginia. We've been busy making this property our own little slice of paradise, adding in a few modern conveniences, having fun learning all of the construction trades, and converting a pole barn into our future home. This channel is about my passion for painting with a torch and wax, and about our passion for adventure and taking risks. Consider subscribing and join this creative community. And don't forget, hit that thumbs up button if you're enjoying the video. Good afternoon, all. In case you're new to this series, we are traveling from West Virginia southwest, and we've just made it to the most western spot that we're going to travel to on this trip, which is in Tucson, Arizona. Just outside of Tucson, Arizona. So I thought this afternoon I would show you around the campsite real quick before it gets dark. We are staying at Gilbert Ray Campground, which is just outside of Saguaro National Park, which we are planning on going to. So let me flip the camera around and show you around the campsite. As you can see, the campsite is somewhat in the middle of the desert. It's a really cool campsite. It's not super close together, the campsites. You can obviously see the neighbors, but it is the middle of the desert. So it's rather flat here. So, but the cactuses are really cool, and it's probably one of the most unique campgrounds we've stayed at. Now, the whole point of coming this direction was to see my dad. He spends his winters out here in Tucson, Arizona. So I'm hoping to film some for this portion of the trip, but I don't know how much filming I'll get done. Hopefully I'll take you around to some of the places we're going to see, but I'll pick you back up in the morning when we figure out what the heck we're doing tomorrow. Good morning, and as it turns out, it is raining here in Tucson. So I have decided to go indoors and visit the Ignite Museum, which is all about neon signs. And this person, his name is Jude Cook, no relation to us, but at any rate, he started his sign business over 40 years ago, and he was making and restoring neon signs, and it got kind of a bit out of hand, if you will. And so he moved to this area here in Tucson, and he continues to restore and collect them, and decided to turn it into a museum, which was really cool to see. They have a lot of iconic Tucson area signs, and just really cool to see. The rain started to clear up, so luckily we were also able to sneak in some of the signs outside. And since the rain had started to clear up, we decided to go visit Saguaro National Park. We just drove around and kind of ventured out on a few short little scenic overlook areas, and it was really pretty cool to see. Hoping to do more hiking tomorrow in this area. See you then. Good evening, all. This is our last night in Tucson. Sadly, we are leaving first thing in the morning. But before we head out, I thought we would catch you up on what we did here, because we really haven't picked up the camera to talk to you about it. We've been here about a week, a little less than a week, maybe 5 days. Anyways.
Work week.
Yeah, it all blurs together. So, yeah, we thought we would talk about what we did here in Tucson. Try to take you back to the first day, which I think was the Biosphere. So, Biosphere 2, because Earth, we learned, is Biosphere 1. So, what did you think of the Biosphere? Interesting,
but seemingly a big waste of money for the University of Arizona.
Yeah.
Hate to say, maybe not waste of money, but a drag on money, we'll say. It's I'm not sure it's very sustainable.
Yeah, we listened to a couple interesting podcasts after the tour of the Biosphere, which kind of brought to light certain different things, but basically a group of people were volunteered to be locked in this biosphere, if you're not familiar with it. And it was kind of an experiment, if you will, on if Earth could be replicated on a smaller scale. And I think basically the experiment kind of failed. So now they've opened it up to tours, and it was cool to see. We did the just the self-guided tour, and then we did what they called the lung tour.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So explain what the lung is.
A huge room with basically a thin sheet of metal, or not metal, rubber over top of it. And the rubber allows for expansion and contraction of the whole thing, like lungs. It's not physically pushing anything back and forth to move air, but as the air in the biosphere contracts and everything else, like this thing literally, like it's got, I can't remember how many tons of a piece of base was on it, but it's massive. I mean, it's like literally the size of a football field kind of thing you're standing in, and it's a round area, but that was pretty cool parts of it. And then they have these little hatches that you come in and out of, and you open this hatch and it's like a wind tunnel, just crazy amount of wind. So I mean, that was kind of neat, little add-on ticket, but kind of neat. I mean, it was the most interesting part of the tour. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a lot of experiments or anything going on. Didn't seem like much activity around Biosphere, which is kind of why I said it seems like it's a drag on the university. It's almost sad, because it was a bunch of billionaires or a billionaire that started this thing
way back when.
Yeah, many years ago, decades ago. And then I think I think he still contributes to it, but he keeps telling them that this is the final cut, but it's like he created this thing and then donated it to the university, and donated, I can't imagine how many millions it costs to run this place every year, and it seems unfortunate to me. The tours, I think, do help with the cost of it. Obviously, we paid for the tour, we paid for the lung tour, so that does go towards the cost of maintaining it. But yeah, just interesting. It was interesting to go see, we'll put it that way. Yeah, it was neat. I'd heard podcasts prior to seeing it, so and like even the events of the people living in it for a couple of years or whatever, and they've done it, I think, twice. Like another set of people tried to live in it on a shorter period, but both times it really couldn't sustain. It really didn't do much. They're doing some neat things, but I mean, they're trying to restore the coral reefs and kind of things like that, but it doesn't, like, again, there was no activity there. It was kind of weird. Like, it didn't seem like anybody was around doing much. And I don't know, maybe that's the financial side of it too. I don't really know. But
which should be a lesson to all of us, basically saying Earth is not replaceable.
Hey, good point.
So take care of this planet, folks. Recycle, live sustainably, all the stuff. Not to go off on a, tangent here or preach to y'all. But
that should be their new advertising campaign.
Right? Maybe I should be in charge of that. Anyways, all right. Moving past Biosphere. What else the Botanical Gardens, which actually, shout out to Nina. She's an artist also here on YouTube. I'll link her channel down below if you're interested in seeing her. She's a mixed media artist and all around great person. We met her for dinner at Little Abner's, which was outstanding. I didn't film any of it because we were just enjoying the company, chit-chatting. But if you're in the Tucson area, check out Little Abner's Steakhouse. They're really, really good. But shout out to Nina for suggesting the Botanical Gardens while we were there. They have an art exhibit called Washed Away, where they collected all of this garbage, speaking of taking care of our planet, from Oregon. And this artist has made sculptures out of it. So it was really cool to see. And the Botanical Garden was fun. What did you think of that?
Yeah, definitely cool. I mean, it's always kind of cool to see the different diversity of landscapes. And I like the desert landscaping anyway. Like, I know when we traveled out there years ago, or we made trips to Arizona quite often, and I don't know, it's definitely just different. You know, that desert living is cool, so I like that landscaping.
Yeah, and in the Botanical Garden, there's also a butterfly garden, so that was really cool to see. And yeah, just
probably lots of good film to insert here with that, because
hopefully,
I don't know, the butterfly garden was actually kind of a highlight. Those were cool.
That was really neat to see. Lots and lots of butterflies, and of course the art exhibit was fun. I'll insert a bunch of pictures in here of that as well. All right, and then aside from seeing my dad, which was also wonderful,
the point of the trip.
Correct. Thanks, Dad. We went to, the other highlight, I think, of the trip was the Sahara. Am I saying that right? Saguaro National Park, and the cactuses there, the saguaro cactuses.
The ones that look like people.
Yeah, they were massive. Like, again, I'm sure the film isn't going to do it complete justice, but it was really cool to see there. And we did some hiking with my dad there and kind of got a little bit more up close to the cactuses. So that was definitely cool. And
perfect weather for hiking in Arizona desert. Yeah. It was actually really cool.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was cool. We did a lot of driving around Tucson, just kind of exploring. We did the night museum.
Yeah, you'll have seen that probably already by this, because I think that'll be happening first. So, but yeah, the national park. Any more thoughts on that?
You always surprise me with these questions.
Just sorry. Just, you know.
Well, as every other national park, just go see it, because it's cool. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. No, we didn't see any wildlife.
No.
I don't even think we saw roadrunners here. We saw more roadrunners in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But not.
We did finally see a javelina at dusk. Driving back, we stayed at a campground just outside of the national park. Gulfa Gorge. Am I saying that right? Gulfa Gorge, I think.
No, that's Hot Springs coming up.
Oh. I don't know. Oh, no, I don't know. Anyways, I'll put in where we stayed. We'll figure that out.
Not a national park. It was actually from Pima County. They run the park.
Yeah.
So it's one of their campgrounds, but it's right outside the national park.
Yeah. But you'll have already seen that too, probably by this. But
by the way, yeah, like the national park is split in two sections, so there's an east and a west, quite a bit far away from each other. Lots of terrain. But Pima County runs a park right next to it, and it's just as gorgeous, if not more. And there's a drive through it. What was that? Westgate Drive?
Pass something?
West Pass? Something, yeah.
Gate Pass.
Gate Pass. Pass Gate, I don't know. Something like that. I'm sure if you throw any of those in your GPS, you'll find it.
Again, shout out to Nina for recommending that, because that was a cool drive.
Yeah, it's a drive that just goes through the mountains, so you go pretty steep up, and then there's actually a park at the middle with some nice hiking trails off of it, great views, and then again, just gets you close to the desert and stuff like that. So
yeah, so if you didn't want to do the national park, but still wanted to see the area, I highly recommend that. And then, like Matt said, there's trails off of that as well to go see. So, yeah, just really cool area. Anything else to add?
Should we talk about where we're moving?
Oh, the javelina. That's what we finally saw a javelina at dusk driving back to the campground. That's where this whole story was going. I didn't get any footage of it, but it was cool to see a javelina in the car and not, you know, up close and personal, because they can be ferocious.
We think it's a myth, but we found a mystery at the campground also.
What?
The lighting. So, never seen this before in any campground, and it's kind of funny because we researched it. Well, we drive around, people put rope lighting around their cars and campers, and they prop their hoods open and all this kind of stuff, and we're like, The hoods I thought was for desert heat. I thought, okay, well maybe just, their engines, so they don't overheat, just prop the hood, let it cool off faster. The lighting, I thought, well, it's got to be decorative. But then it was like, it was at least 50% of the campsites had lighting around all of their rigs.
Like on the ground, rope
on the
lighting.
ground around the rigs. And it just seemed weird, because I'm like, usually people hang them from their awnings or the camper or whatever. So we had to look it up, and we looked it up, and it was to try to persuade or move pack rats from jumping into their rigs and stuff like that. And then we found articles specifically about Gilbert Ray Campground, which is the campground we stayed at, specifically about that campground and pack rats getting into your cars. So like the few nights we were, or the week or so we were camped there, it was like, we're gonna get pack rats in the camper and the truck. We're like, this is even pretty serious. Like, everybody's doing this, to the point we almost went out and bought rope lighting.
And of course I looked this up like right before bed one night, so like we're both listening, like, do you hear anything scuffing around? Like, should we go out and scare up the animals so we don't get pack rats in our camper? Turns out.
Oh, what was that? Yeah, turns out so far so good, knock on wood, but we'll get one tonight.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, so it was for pack rats apparently, and
but some
seems
people,
like it's a myth,
yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff about it and pack rats. So
if you're a camper and you've camped in Arizona, do you put rope lighting around your camper and or vehicle? Is this a real thing or not? So, anyways,
Mythbusters,
right? I think this is probably where we're gonna leave you for this one.
Wait, I just said like a couple minutes ago, I told the people we were going to move somewhere.
Oh, where are we moving to? I think I said this already.
Oh, you did? You already did a whole thing about it?
Where are we moving to?
Rincon County
Oh,
West.
that. I thought you meant New Mexico. Yeah.
No, the 55 and older community.
Right.
We're not quite there yet, but they said if our money's green, we can move in anytime. So we've got an in.
We're not leaving. We're never coming home, folks.
We said the whole point of coming out and doing this trip was to visit her dad. We had an opportunity to take a long trip and a vacation, and we never thought we'd actually get a chance to go out and see, because obviously we don't fly and stuff. So we jumped on it when we could and loved spending the time out there. So thanks, Dad, by the way. It was awesome. But the place he lives at, like, we could see why he's been doing it for a few years, and we can just see why he's so excited about it. I mean, there's activity everywhere. There's people outside. There's pickleball and tennis and bocce ball and horseshoes, and her dad's been doing wood turning. There's a whole wood turning shop with like 3 or 4 lathes and all the woodworking equipment. There's craft shops. There's mineral rock tumbling, and yeah. Jewelry making, all kinds of stuff, and it's like for a small fee each year or something like that, you get to use all this stuff. So pretty awesome place. Really cool. So yeah, I think we're moving in.
All right. Yeah. So anyways,
pool activities. I'm gonna be the pool instructor.
All right. I didn't get any video of this, so all you're seeing here is 2 talking heads. So sorry about all that, but maybe someday I'll do video of it when we live there. Anyways.
Maybe.
All right. We're ending this here. We need to get up early and hit the road, so we will catch you on the next one. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully it wasn't too rambly. And yeah, I think that's it. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Bye.